All right, what's going on, people? We're back for another Actors Hall of Fame. So far, we are still on track. One Actors Hall of Fame a month. We have not missed yet so far. I am proud of myself for that because fucking, man, these last couple of years were abysmal for me. But we're doing,
Nice Walton Goggins list, by the way,
thank
Dominic.
you, thank
Nice
you,
video, nice little
thank
video you
you. I'm
made.
glad that you
Is
enjoyed
that
that. It
the
seems to
only
be
one?
doing very well.
Have you done that with any other people? I feel
With
like.
any other actors? No, that's the
Oh,
first
all
time I've done
right.
that for an
Very
actor.
nice.
And I
Very
felt
nice.
like for
Well
him, it
done.
was
You had the
very well
logo
deserved.
for each thing. I liked it. I liked how you did that. That was
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. Yes, like I said, I'm trying some new stuff this year. I really am. I'm trying to change up
Yeah,
my formatting a bit so I don't get stuck in a rut, and it seems to be working. I've got a couple more
that was good.
individual
I
solo
like
topics
that. That's like a
planned.
side series for us. Like
Yes.
for this series where it's like, yeah, Walton Goggins is obviously somebody that deserves a top 10. Like he does, like in
Right.
general, because
But
he's
the issue is
like
a majority of his stuff is TV.
it's TV, like, but there's a good enough variety there. But like the only reason he doesn't have enough movie, he doesn't have a list rather for this series is because he's not in enough films.
Yes.
Quite frankly, in terms of like the quality of performance that we are looking for, but he is giving. He's one of the best actors alive. Let's just
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Obviously, yeah. I've got. I will spoil it right here. I've got a couple more of those planned for later on in the year and for potentially into next year as well. They will be well timed according to how the algorithm and to how movies in general dictate. So keep an eye out. I've got some more planned. That will not be the last one that you see from me. But tonight we're back with another Actors Hall of Fame. And Dustin, we're here to review. Is Jack Black one of your favorite actors? This is
One of my
always
favorite movie stars
one
for
of your
sure.
favorite movie stars. Okay, yeah, my
And I do
relation.
think he is he's a great actor, but we'll get into how he is kind of pigeonholed in a
You
lot of things.
He is. You know what's so
And
funny about this?
typecast.
This is like this is kind of a little bit. It was so interesting when you said you wanted to do Jack Black for the next one because I was thinking back. I'm like, why do I feel like even though Jack Black is an actor who's been in my life for the longest time ever, I feel
Mhm.
like I'm like I still feel like I'm missing so many of his movies because this is the thing about me with Jack Black. Jack Black, I believe, is the first actor
Mm.
who I like ever actually learned about because again, for me, the majority of I
It's
feel
Voice
like
Awards, probably.
probably. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Think about the types of movies that he's done for a majority of his career,
Yeah,
especially for people our age who grew up with him. There's
yeah.
a reason why he is such a household name for people like us, and why one of the easiest ways to get kind of like a marquee blockbuster IP project done now is to put Jack Black in it
He's
because
like the
of
most Nickelodeon friendly actor.
literally,
Like
there are
that.
multiple Nickelodeon projects on my list. More than likely will probably be on your list as
Oh yeah, for
well.
sure. But
Yeah.
like I I just think he's like the most like successful like kids movie star. I would say like an actor who's like done primarily like kid friendly movies, but I think he's better than that. And it's
I
still
do too.
and it's sad to me that he's like I said, he's getting pigeonholed and like typecast in movies like Minecraft, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But like it's just so sad because all these performances we're going to talk about on my list I really think like he's more than just the fucking buffoon. Like
Yes.
I think it should be noted that he's probably he has the most longevity for as far as like fat comedic stars.
Yeah.
Like he's like he could have OD'd in the 90s because he had a drug problem too that not a lot of people even talk about or know about. But I read in Blender years ago that I was reading like oh, he used to OD on fucking acid in his room. He could have gone the way of Chris Farley, but like he adds a lot of nuance to a lot of the roles that he's known for. He had like a like sort of like a cool like child star like you know come up like he was in the 80s he was this little kid doing commercials for Pitfall, this little Atari game which I was obsessed with when they had the version on the PSP when I was younger. But like yeah, he did the commercials for that, and then he was in that movie Airborne when he was a kid, and then he would just show up in a bunch of things. And then as soon as he collaborated with Ben Stiller in the Cable Guy, his career really started to take off in a good way. And
Yeah.
he got a lot of sidekick roles after that, but he eventually became a star in his own right in 2003 specifically, and he's had a great career since, I
Yeah,
would say.
no. So like you were saying, solid career, one of the longest running actors, I feel
Yeah,
like, outside again for making his specific brand of comedy work. Again, the fat
and rock
sidekick
and roll
role.
comedy too. Like
Yes.
that was a big component to me where it's like that's all I was listening to when I was a kid primarily, and a little bit of hip hop. More so when I was in high school, I got a little bit more into hip hop, but like primarily when I was younger, I liked alt and classic rock, and that's all the references he would do. Like so, watching School of Rock at a young age was like the perfect movie to
Perfect. Yeah.
watch for me because I knew everything he was talking about,
Yeah.
and just it was just a very specific like and people say I have like Jack Black eye. Like I've been told I just feel like kind of like a kinship with Jack Black. He's one of those actors, like I just feel like I kind of understand what he's going for. And it is sort of like sad to see him in movies like Gulliver's Travels and which I didn't mind,
Right.
but it's just he's so much better than that, you know.
Well, exactly. Because, like you were saying, it's the fact that he, every once in a while, in between all of these kind of like kiddie parts, he will put out something like a Bernie or something. He'll be in
Or a
something like a
Margot at
Tropic
the
Thunder,
Wedding. Yeah.
right? Or a Margot at the Wedding, exactly. Something to show, like, no,
Mhm.
I do have talent, I do have range, and he does. Because, like, I guess kind of the real, again, my whole thing is whenever you see an actor or a talent of any kind that is able to have the longevity of that career that they do. They clearly have something, you know, like regardless of whether or not they're doing the same type of thing over and over and over again. It's the age-old model of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
Yeah.
it is kind of a point to where you wonder after a certain point, it's like, okay, does Jack Black want to do these types of parts? Or is it just a matter of, again, like the industry is just consistently placing him here and he is kind of like, okay, I'm just going to play
He's
ball.
getting fucking paid.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that part. Like
Yes.
he's like getting paid. You know, he does have that cool sounding Anaconda reboot, remake, parody
Right.
coming out on Christmas this year with Paul Rudd from the That Awkward Moment Nicolas Cage movie guys. So Tom Gormican. So and Steve Zahn's going to be in that too. So it's going to
Yeah.
be a
That
Saving
could be
Silverman
good. That could be good.
reunion. It's going to be a Saving Silverman reunion for Jack Black and Steve Zahn. So I think that has like that's the sort of movie I'm looking for. Like a movie that kind of like takes the piss out of like an established IP that was already kind of a joke.
Right.
Like I and I'm one of those jackasses that thinks Anacondas 2, The Curse of the Blood Orchid is kind of awesome. But like Anacondas, like this, it's like 21 Jump Street almost. Like it's like just take the piss out of this and like give
Yes.
us a great edgy R-rated comedy again.
Yes.
And Jack Black and Paul Rudd and Steve Zahn are like the perfect.
Kind of, I feel like what the Lonely Island is doing with the Naked Gun reboot. That's kind of what it feels like.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
mostly Akiva Schaffer, but yeah, but I get, yeah, that's definitely their sensibilities. I mean, Sandberg's probably going to have a cameo in it.
yeah, there's no way he won't. There's no way he won't.
But that looks great too. That looks very promising. But the thing about that is more so like an IP. Like that was already like a goofy IP to begin with,
Right.
and it's not the same thing. I would say like the Anaconda movie is going to be hard R. I would say
Yeah.
like it'll be surprising if this is R.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of really looking forward to that Anaconda movie just because it sounds like, okay,
That's what I'm saying.
that sounds
Like,
insane.
it sounds interesting and cool, and like they just gave us like a one sentence synopsis for it. Like that
all we need.
A couple of friends that love the Anaconda movie go to the jungle and find an anaconda and shit breaks. Like they're just trying to make it like an independent fan movie. Like it just sounds funny.
Yeah.
It sounds really fun. And like those three guys together, just that sounds like a match made in heaven.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
But yeah.
Real quick before we get started with this list, like I said, the only problem that I've had with Jack Black in recent years, again, it's one of those things where, again, I love Jack Black as a kid. I loved him. He was in, again, some of my favorite movies as a kid, which will be on this list, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Again, and still whenever he's in voiceover.
Yeah, he's definitely not everyone's cup
Well,
of tea.
here's my problem recently is I feel like what happened is that he kind of, again, got stuck, like you were saying, with taking those checks, but he kind of let the money overtake a little bit. And I feel like we just haven't had a lot of like the creative Jack Black that I enjoy in between some of the big budget projects. Like for me, like you were saying, the Jumanji movies, I am not a fan of any of those movies. I know you were a little bit more favorable towards the first one. I do not like, I only saw the first one, did not like it, was not a fan. He had a fun little cameo in the Daniel Radcliffe, oh my God, Weird Al movie, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great.
A lot of fun,
He
really great in that. That's a strong honorable mention for me. And then really the only other thing that I saw him in recently was the Apollo 10.5 Richard Linklater animated movie, which he just did the voiceover for. But that was fun, you know, but it's another voiceover narration, you know, and that movie I'm still kind of trying to figure out heads and tails of. But that kind of leads us into
movie.
Yeah, but that kind of leads us into Minecraft, where again, I have not seen Minecraft. I do not have any intention of watching Minecraft, but that's another one of those instances where it's like the reason why I'm not watching it or reviewing it is kind of a thing that I ran into with several movies over the course of like 2017, 18, and 19, which is where it's like, it doesn't matter what I say about the purported quality of the movie. Everybody who is going to see this movie has already made up their minds about the movie before it has even been released. So any contribution that I may have about whether I enjoy it or not will be completely null and void, you know? And Jack Black and a type of personality is kind of perfect for a movie like that. It just sucks because I feel like the more Jack Black does movies like that, the less that I see him like actually get to, for lack of a better word, act and show off just how really talented he is.
Yeah, Minecraft sucked. It sucked dick. I'm sorry. And he's just, and I love him. And I honestly, I don't think he's ever given like a dog shit performance. I get why he can be
Same.
annoying to people. Probably the worst movie that he's done for, like as a star vehicle is probably Year One with Michael Cera, which is probably the most ill-advised film he's ever made because him and Michael Cera barely have chemistry, but they're not awful in that movie. That movie is just awful.
Yeah.
But Minecraft, he's like I was telling you, like he's just doing the "Let's get rockin" cadence from School of Rock the entire movie, like from the narration and on. Like he's doing that the entire movie, and it's just I just felt bad for him. I wasn't even mad. I just felt sad. And when Jason Momoa is like one of the strengths of the movie, that's a problem. I'm sorry, but he's like just playing the Peter Dinklage role from Pixels. It's just weird. But
all right, roll it through honorable mentions, then go into your number 10.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, I like him in a majority of these movies, like in Shark Tale and Shallow Hal and the Kung Fu Panda films. He's very good, which you're probably gonna have in Apollo 10 and a half. Borderlands sucked. And some people did say that he was annoying in it. I think he's easily the best part of that movie.
He looked like the best part just from the trailer.
Like even with the annoying dialogue, sometimes he easily felt like the most in the moment character, even though he's in a voice booth hundreds of miles away.
Should tell you everything you need to know about that movie.
Yeah, Orange County. He's really funny in that as Colin Hanks' stoned brother. He's very good in King Kong. The Peter Jackson film.
Yes, he is.
Excellent in the Golden Globe nominated Bernie, which I'm not that big of a fan of, but I do like that performance. Nacho cheese flavored Doritos are delicious. Libre. Yes, that was an epic movie reference. But Nacho Libre, very funny, very heartwarming. Not one of the greatest Jack Black performances alone, but his energy is just really effective, I would say. The Big Year, which is a forgotten David Frankel film, co-starring Steve Martin and Owen Wilson, one of the more sensitive films in his filmography. I dug it. I was one of the only teenagers from our high school to go see that opening weekend. A movie about bird watching.
That movie. I
yeah,
remember that movie.
It's the bird watching movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the director of Collateral Beauty.
Right.
Goosebumps.
This is good in that. Good in that.
This is a better example of like a children's movie that he easily elevates because like he's incredible as the puppet and as a fictional R.L. Stein. And then Super Mario Brothers obviously is my number 11. He's terrific as Bowser. I rewatched it recently. I did kind of like it and appreciate it more on a rewatch, and I do think the animation's incredible in it. But he's almost unrecognizable in the way he uses the bass in his voice in this film, and I would like to see a little bit more development with all of the characters in potential sequel. My number 10, which I sort of hinted at before, but which kind of his like breakthrough in a way before his true breakthrough, and that's The Cable Guy. Ben Stiller's The Cable Guy. He plays a very important supporting role as Matthew Broderick's best friend. And I don't know why they're friends. I don't know why Jack Black is best friends with a corny Matthew Broderick, but it works. And he's the character that gives Matthew Broderick the dreadful advice at the end to just slip the guy $100. He'll give you all the channels he'll just give you all the channels for free that you want. And Matthew Broderick learns his lesson. Let me tell you, because
he does.
Jim Carrey's outstanding in that movie. Like I
should have gotten a fucking Oscar nom for it.
That's arguably my favorite Jim Carrey comedic performance. Honestly, I just the way the somebody to love scene alone, but the basketball scene with where he just jumps off of Jack Black's back is great. Like when Jack Black wants to go to the Soundgarden concert and he's wearing the album shirt and he's just, we're ready to rock. It's just like, and then the climactic phone call where he's like figuring out his real identity, Jim Carrey's identity, and he's telling him everything. Chip Douglas from a little thing called Bewitched. Like, it's just, there's a little bit of flavor that he adds to that character. This is the Jack Blackness, and I know it's pre Chris Farley's death, but there is like a little bit of a Chris Farley influence in early Jack Black work for sure.
Got it. Yeah, Cable Guy, you know what the problem is? That Jim Carrey is just devouring every minute of that movie. Literally,
Chris Farley was supposed to star in that movie too.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, for me, like, it's the Jack Blackness of it was still emerging. That's why Cable Guy is still an honorable mention. For
And one more thing about that movie that I don't know if you know, but it's sort of a hangover situation where Judd Apatow pretty much rewrote that whole movie and he didn't get credited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting.
So that movie
the same way that Jeremy Gerlich and Todd Phillips basically rewrote The Hangover.
Exactly.
Got it. Understood. Yeah.
Exactly.
My honorable mentions that I have, his little cameo in Anchorman, the Weird Al movie, Apollo 10.5, Goosebumps, The Cable Guy. Also, very, very, very funny cameo as one of the Beatles. I don't remember which one.
Oh, Walk Hard.
Incredible cameo.
He was
That's
Paul
the thing. He's got some great cameos. Yes, you're right. He was McCartney and Paul Rudd was Lennon, I think. Yeah, which is great. Honestly, if they had cast those four as if they had made an actual Beatles movie in that vein with those four, I would not have been disappointed. My number 10. It's funny that you were mentioning a movie that, again, people I feel like gave him flack for and said, oh, he was miscast, and I could not disagree more. No, King Kong. That's my number 10.
Oh, King Kong.
Yeah.
Oh,
love this movie. Love this movie. I mean, this movie, I feel like it's got an interesting history to it. Obviously, it also turns 20 years old this year, which is insane. The fact that, again, it's one of the few instances where the director wanted to pay such loving homage to the original, which is a masterpiece, the original black and white King Kong. It's not only a masterpiece, but it's one of my all-time, it's a movie that is very fond of my heart. It's one of the first ever movies that I watched with my grandpa. And so Peter Jackson clearly was a fan of that movie and obviously wanted to go out of his way to the point where he made the movie 3 hours long, like, and added back a lot of like the monster sequences. And the CG of it is still really interesting. And like, I appreciate kind of the cinematic edge to it. And what I like about Jack Black's performance in this is that I think this is the first time that I'd ever seen Jack Black be serious in anything. Because up until that point, again, it was just kids' movies and comedies. And the fact that he kind of adds that kind of little, like, wacky neuroses to it, where he's like, you know, the eccentric film director. Like, he carries
the first half of that movie.
He does. The entire first half of that movie is entirely on his shoulders. And the fact that, again, he has to be like the 1930s,
whole first like 20 minutes of them like building up his character and them getting onto the boat and like frantically trying to get away from like the fucking people that he owes money to and everything.
Yes.
Like, that's just masterfully done, and he plays it so well.
Yes. Could not agree more. Agree more. And then obviously once we get to the island and once we, once we get into the Creature Feature Fest, then that's when obviously he takes a step back. But even still, like, his kind of determination and the fact that he is still so dead set on making this movie, even though he's literally costing people's lives, the fact that he sells that so well, like, he really, the idea of Carl Denham that we had built up of the 1930s one, the fact that Jack Black captures that so well, and the fact that Peter Jackson had enough faith in him to cast him as that and didn't just disregard him as being like another fat comedic part, it's worth noting. And so I think, honestly, it earns a spot on the list. It really does.
Yeah, that's good. All right, my number 9 is The Holiday, directed by Nancy Myers.
Yes.
This is one of the sweetest Jack Black performances. It's really simple. Two ladies, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, they switch homes for a period of time, and she becomes enamored with Jack Black and Eli Wallach as her friend, getting his honorary Oscar. But Jack Black, that scene in the Blockbuster, if you've seen it, Jack Black, he could have been a romantic lead in more movies if he felt like it around that time. And it's just super charming, and like him and Kate Winslet just have excellent chemistry, and it's due for a rewatch. It's one of the better romantic comedies of the decade. of
the
that decade.
106, the 106 Jack Black movie that I missed, and I've heard very, very good things about this movie. This is another one of those movies that, again, like when my parents would like rent DVDs before Netflix was a thing, I saw this movie sitting on their DVD desk, and I'm like, oh, this looks kind of cool. I want to watch it. I never did, but yeah. So think about it this way, right? Tenacious D, Nacho Libre, and The Holiday, all in the same year. Jack Black cooking with gas in '06. My number 9. We're going into the animated route. Like I said, I am no stranger to having animated movie parts on there. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I have 3 animated entries on this list. My number 9, again, for a movie that I thought was kind of just okay, but Jack Black, easily one of the standouts, Super Mario Brothers as Bowser. I mean, this whole cast, when you announced it, aside from Chris Pratt, who was like, okay, they're just going to make him the lead and everything now. It's like Charlie Day as Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
Oh, he was great.
The fuck, even down to Kerry Payton as the fucking Penguin King, and that whole bit at the beginning was great. Jack Black as Bowser, I was already sold on it to begin with. The fact that I'm like, oh, he's just going to have a blast with this. Like, he's going to know exactly what to do with this. Just bringing all of his typical Jack Blackisms to a villain part where he is just having an absolute ball. As that the thing about Bowser is already such an iconic character outside of the Jack Black verse. So like the fact that Jack Black really didn't even need to try for this part, because again, people were going to show up for Mario just in general. But the fact that he is as good as he is and makes this part, again, the fucking Peaches song was like number 1 on like the fucking listen to track for how many months now? Like, come on. Like, that's the other thing too, is that we haven't even talked about the fact that Jack Black, on top of, again, being insanely talented, is a musical genius, like a musical fucking genius. And we will cover that obviously in some other entries on this list. But yeah, Super Mario Brothers had to be on my list.
All right, my number 8 is Gus Van Sant's Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. Now, this is a very depressing and weirdly edited film about famed quadriplegic artist John Callahan, and Jack Black plays the guy that gets into the accident with Joaquin Phoenix. He causes it because he was drunk driving. And even though it's a brief part, it's the most dramatically effective role he's probably ever had. And I wish he was in it a little bit more, but his scenes really do pack a punch. And you're going to have to watch this movie sooner or later, Dominic, because we're going to do we will do Jonah Hill, and that's going to be on the list as well. So,
I plan on watching it. Don't you worry.
But you will be like, oh fuck, I'm sad that I didn't put that on the Jack Black list. You watch, I'm telling you, he's heartbreakingly effective.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Did you put this on the Joaquin Phoenix list when we did this?
I don't believe I did.
Okay. I wasn't sure. We did that list so long ago. Fuck, that was our first list. That's crazy. My number 8, another animated role, but another one that is very, very, very close to my heart. I love this movie. Watched this movie when I was a kid. Still don't understand the hate for it. Shark Tale. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. It's a great movie. Great kids movie. What's it called? Again, all-star cast. A lot of actors who I was introduced to because this movie. Will Smith, Renee Zellweger, Angelina Jolie was introduced to all these guys. I think this is the first thing that I ever heard Robert De Niro's voice in. Also, obviously, the funny back and forth of Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese being the Don and the number 2. But Jack Black, he's got a nice little arc in this movie. You know, obviously, again, the whole circling bit of Lenny and Oscar and their kind of little back and forth that they have together. Where again, Oscar just wants fame, Lenny just wants to live up to his dad's expectations, but also kind of. Again, but also having to deal with the fact that he's a shark who is disgusted by the idea of eating fish. Like that scene with the shrimp in the restaurant is still traumatizing to me. Like as a little kid,
that's such a good cast.
It's a great cast. It's such an
It's like It's the last movie Dougie Doug was in.
He's one of the fucking the jellyfish, right? Yeah.
Jellyfish.
Oh man, that's a great movie. I don't understand why people crap on this movie. It's a great DreamWorks movie. Exactly. It's one of the best. It's one of the best. I don't understand.
De Niro.
It's really good. I really like. I don't want it to say this is a really, really good movie. Not just a good kids movie. A really good movie.
Doesn't Imperioli
plays the brother shark who gets crushed by the anchor, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw that movie like 20 times.
I know. It's one of my most watched movies as a kid. I love this movie. Jack Black's great in it. Again, he's got some really, really great moments. It's really funny. It's really heartfelt. It's awesome. Shark Tale, 100% great.
Good movie. Should have won that year. Okay.
No. For Incredibles, I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
The Incredibles
yeah,
deserved it. It was better than Shrek 2, I don't care. My number 7, Margot at the
yeah.
Wedding.
So this is one of the Baumbach movies
No Noah
that
Baumbach.
I have not seen. So yeah, talk about this one.
It's a good one. It's an interesting one. It's probably his most low-key movie, but it is very dramatically effective, and it follows Nicole Kidman's character. It's an interesting role for Nicole Kidman to play. She's going to the wedding of her sister, obviously, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, who's getting married to Jack Black. And Jack Black, this is such a tailor-made role for him, and he gets to play all the zaniness and like neuroses of this character, and he does it so effortlessly. And it's a very overlooked performance in his career, but it's a universally praised one whenever people watch it.
Yeah.
So I thought he was very
Yeah,
good in
I've heard people go back and forth on this one as far as Baumbach's filmography go. Some people like it, some people don't. So this one will be interesting when I eventually complete the Baumbach filmography, which I may do later on this year for when Jay Kelly comes out. We will see.
Okay.
My number 7 is one that is probably going to be a lot lower compared to where it is on your list, especially because this is a movie that I do not like,
No,
except for Jack Black. Jack Black was the sole standout for High Fidelity, a movie that a lot of people love that I just
okay.
cannot stand. For the simple fact, I've told you this, I will put it out there now. I do not like this movie because I cannot get on board with the idea, and maybe it's just me saying this, with John Cusack getting with how many different women is he with? I remember obviously Lisa Bonet, who again looks it has been long said that Zoe Kravitz is a clone of her mother, but like, oh my god, like in this movie I legitimately thought I was watching Zoe Kravitz. I had to keep reminding myself that that was Lisa Bonet.
She was in the
There you
show
go.
too.
What's it called? But yeah, he gets with how many? Eben Hijeli, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Lisa Bonet. I'm just sitting there being like, you're getting Lily
Lily
Taylor. I'm like,
Taylor.
you're getting with all these beautiful women, and you're miserable. Like, you're like a hipster, like record store owner. Like, I don't know. I couldn't get on board with it. I couldn't dig it. Jack Black, on the other hand, as like the kind of kooky, funny best friend in like a drama. Oh man, sign me up. Every time that he was on screen in this movie, I was like, yes. Can we make the movie about him? Please, like, get John Cusack out of here with his fucking moaning, bitching about sleeping with various hot women. Like, let's go to Jack Black. He was great. He was awesome. Every single scene he was on screen. I think the reason also too why I like him is because he was kind of like taking the piss out of John Cusack a little bit, being like, yeah, you know, what do you
Mhm.
have to complain about ultimately at the end of the day, you know? But it wasn't one of those things.
That's a Cosby
Exactly.
sweater.
Again, it's we're all of like, I could like see the Jack Black isms being born. I'm like, oh, like he's like starting to ascend, like even though this is yet another like funny sidekick character part, like he's starting to ascend that ultimately. So yeah, High Fidelity, he's great.
You might be you might be surprised where I put it. My number 6 is Tenacious
Ooh,
D in The
okay.
Pick of
Now I'll admit this is
Destiny.
lower than I thought you were gonna have it.
As far as movies, let me think. It would be in my 5 for sure. Like in terms of like, yeah, Tenacious D and The Cable Guy would probably be in my top 5 overall, just the best films he's been in. But Tenacious D, I mean, this is the spirit of Jack Black. If you don't like this movie, you don't get Jack
It's
Black,
true.
and that's fine. Okay, that's just fine. But I'm glad that
I
you really
loved it.
liked it and really
Loved it.
enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite musical, honestly. Like it's probably my
Still Sing
favorite
Street for me,
musical.
but
Uh, that's not a musical. That's a movie with music. This is a musical. It's it's so like infectious, the energy of this movie, and it's so well directed and like just original, and just it just goes at such a fast pace. It's so likable and funny. And Jack Black, he doesn't have to stretch that much, but like you were saying before, he really showcases his musical genius, even though ironically they're not supposed to be
right.
good
Right. That's the confusing
in
thing,
this
is I'm like,
movie.
wait, they're not supposed to be
Yeah,
good? Like that was the most confusing thing for me of that movie.
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but they are like just super. Like that's the joke. But him and Kyle Gass have great chemistry. It's really original. That battle with Dave Grohl as
So
the
good.
devil at the end is just
So good.
one of the greatest things in a comedy. And there's just not that much else. I was obsessed with this movie when it came
Yeah.
out. I was obsessed
Understandably
with
so.
it.
Understandably so. Like I said, the fact I knew this movie was special when I saw it on Watch Mojo. And then both my college professor and my boss at work both like consistently listened to the score from this. And that's how I know I'm like, oh no, this is a special movie. This is a special movie, to say the least. All right. My number 6 is another one that I saw recently. I saw the trailers for this probably over 150 times when I was a kid. It looked like the perfect kids movie. It's a movie that should not work because Jack Black is playing a Mexican, but it's one of those things where, again, if the movie stops to think about itself for a second, it doesn't work. But the fact that it is just so determined to and so kind of dead set in and so sticks to its guns, Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre. This is like as classic Jack Black as I feel like you could think of. Again, where he is a cook who was raised at a monastery, who dreamed of being a wrestler, and now, as an adult working there, has the ability to both impress the new hot the new hot priestess who is a sister who is brought there, played by Ana de la Regura, who would later get her head literally cleaved 180 degrees in Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
Encarnacion.
Yes. And so what does he do? He decides to finally live out his dream of becoming a luchador wrestler alongside what is the co-star's name?
Eugenio Derbez.
Wait, no. That's Eugenio Derbez? No, okay.
No,
I was about to say
Hector
Jimenez. Hector Jimenez is his name.
It's Hector Jimenez, I know. That's the guy from Epic Movie too.
Yes, Moises Arias also as a kid is in this. Peter Stormare has one scene in it, and again, directed by Jared Hess. What's it called? The director of Minecraft, unfortunately, and co-written by White Lotus creator Mike White. Not the first time that you will see that name on this list. This movie should not work at all. Again, Nickelodeon movie, but again, Jack Black had already had prior experience here with School of Rock, and yeah, just like everything else, he sells it and he commits to it 150%. And again, just it's another instance of, again, that false bravado that just turns into regular bravado ultimately at the end of the day. And even though it sucks, and even though I don't think they until the end they don't win a single match, but that doesn't matter because it's just a classic underdog situation the whole time. You just can't help but root for them. I really, really enjoyed this movie. This is such a throwback to my childhood. I really loved it. Nacho Libre had to be on the list.
Okay, my number 5, Be Kind Rewind. Michel Gondry's Be Kind Rewind. Easily my second favorite Michel Gondry movie behind Eternal Sunshine. And it's not as deep as that movie, but it's just it's a very heartwarming and original film. And Jack Black plays like a crazy guy who I haven't watched it in a while, but I think he's like a garbage man. He works at this weird garbage plant, and I think he gets infected with something and his brain becomes magnetized, and he unintentionally destroys every tape in the store. So him and his friend who works at the store, played by Mos Def, and it's owned by Danny Glover, who's away on vacation doing his own side quest with Mia Farrow, but they have to record their own versions of each movie, and they call them the sweeted version. You would like this movie. I'm mad you didn't watch it. You would very much like this a lot. And he's hilarious in it. It's very watchable. It's he's so not doing the typical Jack Black thing. He is playing a realistic guy in this, even though it is a kooky,
sounds
movie.
Awesome. I'm actually mad I didn't watch it.
But it's very good. Yeah. I saw this in theaters. Yeah.
Oh, I'm mad I didn't watch that. All right. My number 5. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Yes, I saw this for the first time this past week. I had heard about this movie for years from so many different people. I knew that it was one that I had to watch. I'm very, very glad that I did. It's just everybody who's seen this movie already knows exactly what they are in for. I knew exactly what I was in for. I'm like, it's gonna be I'm like, it's gonna be a musical. They're gonna be going on an insane quest. The surprise for me was how him and KG get together at the beginning of the movie, where he basically sees KG playing and he's like, "Oh my god, you're a genius!" And KG basically manipulates him and just uses him to get stuff until he eventually realizes that oh, you were just bullying me just for what, to make yourself feel better. When he pulls off the wig and realizes, oh, you're just bald and fat and overweight. And then through the power of matching tattoos on their asses that form the name Tenacious D, they then go on the magical quest to find the Pick of Destiny to become the greatest rock duo ever, to win the rock contest at the open mic so that they can pay their rent. It's one of the greats. It's one of the great movie plots ever, in the sense of where it's totally nonsensical. they're making up these ridiculously high stakes for these ridiculously like low rent stable. Although for anybody who's ever struggled to pay rent, you understand that can be a real struggle there. And again, you get insane cameos from Ben Stiller and Tim Robbins. You got a really funny bit where Tim Robbins is like trying to like run away, but he like can't walk, and the cops just come and grab him, and that was great. Ben Stiller again telling the story of the Pick of Destiny, leading up to the epic battle against Satan himself.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller is awesome in it. He's so committed to the band. I'm like, oh, it's of course Ben Stiller is in this, and he's perfect for this. But
there's a guy called Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen, and when he's listening through all the different rockers who have used the big, he's so committed to that bit that I almost believe it, because obviously I buy into all the Hollywood conspiracy theories. I buy into every single one of them. But no, but again, obviously leading up to a literal rock battle with the devil, played by Dave Grohl, one of the greatest on-screen portrayals of the devil ever. He's up there with Al Pacino in Devil's Advocate, and Viggo Mortensen in The Prophecy, and Peter Stormare in Constantine. Dave Grohl's up there with all of them, and it's great. It's awesome. It's Tenacious D, and again, the music is unbelievably good. Like, there's a point where fucking Kyle Gass just grows 4 extra arms and is playing like a multi-set guitar. This movie's insane. It's awesome. Great movie.
Yeah, with the pussy lips.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
My number 4, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. One of
the second one, not the first one. Or is that the first one?
That's the first one.
That's the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. One of the biggest surprises of that year for me. I think it's one of the best video game movies ever. I don't care. It's good. It's very likable. And the thing I like about those movies is it gives a chance for the 4 main stars to actually give like interesting performances. And they get to play teenagers in this one. And Jack Black plays the hot, Madison Eisman character.
That was funny. That was a good bit.
And he's hysterical in the movie, and he actually adds pathos to her character and makes her likable. Actually, by the end, you're just happy to be like, oh, I'm glad she made it out of this. You know what I mean? She learned her lesson, and Jack Black conveyed it super well. And he's hilarious in the second movie as well. But I really think that The Rock and Kevin Hart really cracked me up in the second movie. Like, they really cracked me up playing DeVito and Danny Glover, respectively. But Jack Black, I think, was the MVP of the first movie, followed closely by Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Jack Black is the MVP of those movies in general. The scene where he gets eaten by the hippo still makes me laugh every time. I said it.
He's not overdoing it with the female affectation either. Yeah. It's done just perfectly.
Yeah. Now we're into my top 4, and I will say this is going to be really tricky, because this is one of the few times where I can say that any one of these could be number 1, just as easy, for various and different assorted reasons, and I will get into it. And it's really tough, because again, like, all of these, one of which I saw very recently, one of which I saw very recently this week, one of which I saw recently relative to it. But this one, as I have gone on record many times to say, this is my favorite comedy of all time. This is still, if you ask me, the greatest comedy of all time. And Jack Black is just as crucial a part of that. He still, again, everybody gets a chance to shine in this movie. It's one of the reasons why it's great. Tropic Thunder. Oh man, and is this the first time that we've actually talked about this on an Actors Hall of Fame?
Tom Cruise.
You're right, Tom Cruise. Okay, I knew we had before, but oh man,
and Robert Downey Jr. Right?
We haven't done Downey Jr. for Hall of Fame.
We haven't.
Yeah, we haven't. Right. We were going to, and then but. Jack Black just is, again, the thing that I love about this movie is that not only is everybody in this movie, not only is there not a bad performance in this movie, but it's the fact that every single person in this movie gets a chance to shine. Again, Brandon T. Jackson, Jay Baruchel, Danny McBride, Matthew McConaughey, Tom Cruise, Nick Nolte, even the Asian guys who play the drug cartel, Bill Hader. Everybody in this movie gets a chance to shine. And
we are Flaming Dragon.
We are Flaming Dragon. Okay. Fuck, we're not talking about Tom Cruise. Talking about Jack Black. The thing about it is that this is one of the only comedies I've seen Jack Black actually get to play like down and dirty. I feel like every other one of his comedies, he's always like, he's the underdog that you're rooting for, with the heart of gold that's just been shot on his dialogue. Here, he like plays the Chris Farley type that he's been consistently typecast as to a T, like with the drug problems and with the hard cursing, and like he plays like an adult comedy part, and Exactly. And it's great. Like, he knows exactly what he is doing here. And I remember seeing the posters for this movie when I was a kid and being like, oh my God, this movie looks insane. Because of the orange hue of the poster, I couldn't even tell that Robert Downey Jr. was in blackface, if you know what blackface was at the
Right.
time. But Jack Black, oh man, so many iconic moments. Like, no, you're gonna have my fucking jelly beans. That was great. To be like, it's like, oh man, all people care about is my farts. And then when they strap him to the fucking tree, and they're like, Alpha, if you let me down, I will suck your dick right now. Some of the greatest lines I've
Your
ever heard.
mother's a cankerous whore.
Your brother is a cankerous whore. Hey, remember when I said that your brother is a cankerous whore? I'm sorry for that. He's like, just all the great lines. All of the great lines. Again, everybody in this movie is great. Jack Black is, again, he is truly part of the ensemble here. But again, it's the fact that he is getting to utilize all of his talents towards an actual like R-rated thing where he is like not a good guy at all. Love this movie. It's my favorite comedy of all time. I watch this movie at least once a year. Tropic Thunder.
Number 3, High Fidelity.
All right.
He plays Barry. He's one of the co-workers of John Cusack. Him and Todd Louise are just two guys that came in and like for like a 3-day work week, and they just came in every day.
Yep. Yep.
I think I don't think you're supposed to think the John Cusack character is particularly supposed to be like absolutely 100% perfect, but you understand why he does what he does throughout, like why, like how he was treated throughout his whole life, you know, badly by some of these people, and he learns his lesson by the end, especially by like reuniting with like the girls he thought he was in love with, and then realize like, nah, I was just a jerk, just in love with like just the superficial aspects of them. And I think that's a very good character study. The Jack Black aspect of it just adds like an extra like punch to this movie that it needed. I mean, this movie probably wouldn't be as special as it was, even though it is very good. It's just amazing with Jack Black because he just adds that great energy of his, great line delivery. Just like, oh, that's sentimental, tacky crap. It's just so great. It's so funny. And like he gets to shine at the end with the let's get it on sequence.
Oh, it was
And
great.
it's just, it's a beautiful supporting performance that really catapulted him to get like lead roles like Shallow Hal and School of Rock.
Yeah, it's sad that Shallow Hal was the first part that he had, leading role that he had.
Not a bad movie either.
I'm 50-50 on it. It's not as funny as I thought it would be. And it's just like, oh, get it? She's fat. Like,
He's charming in it. She's good in it. Jason Alexander's funny. I like Tony Robbins.
the Tony Robbins bit was funny. The fact
It's funny.
that movie hinges on Tony Robbins hypnotizing Jack Black, I think
It's one of their more mature movies. I know that's not saying much, but I don't mind it.
That's really not saying much. All right, my number 3. The most recent movie that I saw. Again, a movie that I did not know what to expect going in, and I loved it. I love this movie. Bernie, Richard Linklater. You want to talk about a fascinating character study. In terms of, again, just like what you were talking about, the whole idea of morality, you know, and kind of what determines, you know, whether a person is a true sociopath or whether or not they just, you know, took a bad path. I guess what's so fascinating about this movie is I was so convinced of one thing going in, and then like again, I started to think about it a little bit, and be like, oh, like look at his mannerisms, the way that he did. Also, the fact that the movie is kind of one-sided. The movie is very one-sided against the Shirley MacLaine character. They go out of their way to say that everybody in the town hated
a little bit,
but that doesn't necessarily mean that she was as awful as they were making her out to be, you know, or that the Bernie character was as much of a saint as they were making him out to be, you know. And again, it's just one of those
using her, yeah,
right. It's one of those things where again, like the movie is the movie is so clearly understanding of the type of story that it is telling, and the fact that it is such a character study that where it makes you so sympathetic towards that guy and that character. And again, the fact that Jack Black plays it to a perfection. Like again, the fact that he is a high functioning sociopath, but you're still like, oh, it's cute, cuddly Jack Black. Like it's one of his most brilliant performances I've ever seen, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting. Like, what are your thoughts on this movie?
Haven't seen it since it came out. I liked him in it. I thought McConaughey was probably the standout.
McConaughey's very good in it too.
That was like in the middle of his like McConaissance. Like, holy shit! Like he's like really like popping in movies for good reason. But yeah, I don't know. That movie just didn't work tonally for me. It just didn't,
Okay.
and, like, I kinda read through that whole, like, his whole facade, and I just thought it was kinda, like, inevitable by the yeah, like, what do these people expect? It's like he was, like, fucking using the woman, and he was just gay and charming, and, like, it's just it just had too much of a lighthearted tone for my liking. It could have had,
I
like,
see.
more of a darker tone for me.
See, for me, I feel like it had that at the beginning, yes, but that was necessary, and I do feel like it kind of got darker near the end, you know, where again,
Yeah,
like
but
it's
not dark enough.
my
Like,
whole thing is, do you think that Linklater wanted us to feel bad for that character?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
I do.
I'm
That's the
I'm
thing.
still
I really
50-50
do.
on it. That's the thing. I guess where I'm still trying to figure it out is I
A
don't
and that
know
that
if
makes me kind of uneasy about it, honestly.
yeah, I don't know if he wanted you to feel bad for that character, or if he was kind of trying to use that to kind of trick you, be like, oh, you're naturally gonna feel sympathetic for this guy because he feel like seems so innocent. When really these are kind of the people that we should be looking out for. Like I don't know. That might just be like me, like kind of speculating of being like, whoa,
I
because
love
again, like
Linklater, it just wasn't the kind of flavor I was looking for him for that
right,
movie,
right.
personally. I don't think
I,
he was really the perfect choice for that either.
Right, and I understand. Again, I feel like again he tried to do a similar thing with Hitman, and it did not work at all with
I liked
Hitman.
it. I liked Hitman, and I thought that definitely was more successful than this was.
Hitman, I think the whole thing is Hitman had a better idea and concept, but that ending is one of the all-time
That's
worst
similarly
endings.
frustrating to the
Oh, see, I think it's
climax
way more
of
frustrating.
Bernie.
Hitman. I think Hitman is
I
way more of a
understand.
frustrating ending.
I just think it was more fun to get there
Yeah.
in Hitman,
Like to
personally.
me, Bernie ended exactly the way that I was expecting it to. When
Sure.
Hitman ended, I'm like, literally audibly made me go, what the fuck? This is how we're ending this? Like,
Mhm,
fuck. It made me go, fuck this movie.
mhm.
Because Hitman was great for the first 2/3 of it. Like, really, really, really good. And then that
Mhm.
last bit, I'm like, oh, what the fuck are we doing here? But yeah, Bernie,
You love it.
either way, one of Jack Black's all-time best performances ever. All right, number 2.
Tropic Thunder.
All right.
Gotta be. Jeff Portnoy. I mean, like you were saying, just to back up what you were saying, and Matthew McConaughey's in this too.
Yes, he
Amazing.
is.
Great in that. That's honestly a low key maybe in my top 10 McConaughey. I love him
Oh,
in
it's
that.
definitely my top 10 McConaughey, that movie.
As a
You
pack,
make me
me
happy.
happy.
Yeah, man.
Make me
Or even
happy.
better when he looks at the picture of the retarded kid and he's like, "At least you got to choose."
Yeah, right. Or he storms into Tom Cruise's office
Oh my god! It's like,
and he
I would like you. It's like I would like you to know how this guy has wiped his ass with the TiVo clause of your contract. It's great.
like yeah, that's right. That's the most dated part of the movie is the TiVo part.
It's so, but
But
the
it's
way that he
funny.
throws it up in front of the missile, it
Oh yeah,
kills
it
me
saves the
every
TiVo
time.
saves them. That's funny.
You want the TiVo? I got the TiVo. Oh
Great
my
movie.
god.
Fucking great. And he's just woo, and then he just
Woo.
runs into the
Oh
woods.
man, it's like a G5 airplane. Yes.
He's so good in that. I'm
Oh,
glad Owen Wilson almost OD'd, so Matthew McConaughey can.
oh my god,
All
that's
right.
why
No,
McConaughey got the part.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah. And Steve Coogan gave him the heroin. And Steve
What?
Coogan, yeah,
Oh my
this
god.
is well known.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is well known.
The things you know. Oh my god. This just for some reason this just makes this movie even better.
No,
That
I
the shit
love
that this
Tropic
movie
Thunder.
was making
I
fun of
know it's. I
was
know it's.
happening behind the scenes on the movie.
I know it's your favorite comedy, but I will gladly brag till the end of time I've seen it more than you, and I
Oh,
appreciate.
100% you have seen it more than me.
I watched it last week again. I love this movie. Like I do. I do think the third act is a little too like head scratch. Even the Oscars adage at the end doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't
If
matter.
you really,
Doesn't
you know
matter.
it doesn't make any
I
sense.
know it
How
doesn't
can
make
he
any
win
sense, and
Best Actor
I know
for a
it makes no
documentary?
sense, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Eh,
matter.
a little bit. If you're
It
trying to
doesn't.
make a fucking all right, whatever. But it's still it hits the mark comedically. But Jack Black really like that is perfect casting. No one else could have played that role. I mean, you could argue that someone else could have played the Robert Downey Jr. or the Ben Stiller role, which a lot of people have said about Ben Stiller. But Jack Black, that is just perfectly tailor made for him. I
Yes.
mean, I can't
Almost like
picture
it was
anybody else.
tailor made for him.
No, no, honestly, but like if Chris Farley was still alive, like that would have
Yeah.
been Chris
Yeah.
Farley. But like he really, if he was young enough, he would have been in the Chris Farley biopic,
Yeah.
I would say, because like I would say like this is just such a great respectful portrayal of like that kind of a character too. Like they don't go too far. Like even him doing the drug, like getting the drugs at the end, like kills the fucking guys. And then what does
Oh,
he
man.
say? He's like, all right, we have like at least 72 hours
Yep.
until they wake
We have
up.
at least 72 hours before they wake up. Oh,
It's
man.
great. And
He's
McNulty,
literally
my
looking
boy
at the pile of
McNulty.
drugs, and he's like, it doesn't matter. All people like are my farts.
I know, but it's such a good arc. I love that arc, and
It's
like
so good.
he has probably the best chemistry with everybody in the movie. I would say, just like he just has great
Yes.
chemistry with everybody. Like the way, like you were saying with Brennan T. Jackson, and
Yes.
like,
It's so
and
good.
like how they're all arguing with each other about their careers. It's
It's
just
so
great.
good.
It's
It's
just
so
really
good. It's the
funny.
best comedy. It's the best comedy ever made.
It's a great movie. It's a really great
Fucking
movie.
I will never forget when like Brandon T. Jackson has all the guys on the ground and the one guy, the one dressed in drag, starts listing off Al Pacino movies, and he's like, man, that's
Mhm.
a whole different person. That was great.
And a whole different person.
That's a whole different person. Oh my
Devil
god.
advocate.
Devil advocate. Carlito Way. Oh,
Rita
it's
Way.
Carlito. Oh, it's so good. We gotta stop. This is the problem. Every time we bring up Tropic Thunder, we're never really gonna quote the movie because it's one of the
Very
most quotable
quotable.
movies of all time. My number two. It was really tough between this and my number one.
Oh,
But again,
don't
it's another
say.
movie that is near and dear to my heart. It is the
Okay.
movie to me that like has like the most weirdly like the most. See, I'm farting right now. It has the most nuance of I think majority of Jack Black's career, and of course, it's another voiceover, Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda, a
Good.
truly spectacular movie. Like spectacular movie. Like it still blows my mind how much this movie holds up. Not just for the comedy, because I think that's the thing that blew my mind when I saw this originally in theaters 17 years ago when it came out, and it still blows my mind. This and Tropic Thunder in the same year too. The
Right?
fact that, like, again, like you see all like again this beautiful arc of again this guy. Again, it's the epitome of Jack Black's entire career. This guy who sees himself as like will never measure up to anything, you know, just this incessant fanboy, then gets a chance to become the guy, to become what's it called? The Dragon Warrior. Again, alongside another all-star cast: Dustin Hoffman, Angelina Jolie, Lucy Liu, Jackie Chan, Seth Rogen, David Cross, Ian McShane, one of the all-time villain performances as Tai Lung. Ian McShane, who's been cooking with gas for that whole decade after great performances in Sexy Beast and all 3 seasons of Deadwood. Oh
What
man,
about
just
Bolt? Do you think Bolt was funnier than Kung Fu Panda?
no, no, I do
Aw,
not. I do not,
Bolt
unfortunately.
rules.
I've
I'm a
only
Bolt
seen
boy.
I've only seen Bolt a few times. Bolt's all right. I
Bolt
like it. I
rules.
don't love it, but this movie again, it's so near and dear to my heart. And again, just also the kung fu in this movie is incredible. It's really, really well done. Like the way that they
Yeah.
choreograph each of the action fight moves, and they tailor make it each to the animal style because it's all different talking
Well, they have
animals
to,
too.
yeah.
Well, I know, but like the fact that they go to that work and really go out of their way, and again, like the philosophical nature of it, the fact of it's like again how this ancient kind of confused looking turtle like has this kind of innate wisdom that he is able to grant, and that eventually kind of all, you know, peters through. Like the movie really, really is a deep movie. It's not just another kid's movie. It's not like there's a reason why like this movie has stood the test of time ultimately. Also, an unbelievably underrated Hans Zimmer score, like an amazing, amazing score at the end. And again, it's Jack Black leading, and again, he was at the peak of his powers. He killed it. If not for number one, yeah, I love this movie, Kung Fu Panda.
I'm more of a Kung Fu Panda 2 guy.
And that one also phenomenal sequel. Phenomenal sequel.
Really dig that one. I think the humor is better and it looks better, and Gary Oldman is a better villain, but whatever.
All right, let's get to our respective number one.
School of Rock.
School of Rock. It
It's
has
gotta
to
be
be.
School of Rock.
Has to be.
It's one of the greatest films ever made.
It's great. I still am amazed that like Linklater did this like before in between like Tape and Before Sunset, and it's like a paycheck job for him, and it's one of his best movies, one of the great musical movies, one of Jack Black's roommate, another movie co-written by Mike White, like who plays Jack Black's roommate in the movie.
His best script.
Unbelievable movie.
John Cusack.
Yep.
I mean, Dewey Fit is one of the
young Miranda Cosgrove.
The Rug Miranda Cosgrove. It's great. Frank Whaley's in it.
Yes.
Dude. Dewey Fit. This is one of the great comedic lead performances of the 2000s. Like probably a top 3, I would say. I think he definitely deserved an Oscar nomination for this. He's incredible the whole way through. He gets every nuance of this character. It's a comedy, sure, but like he plays like the dramatic parts very sincerely, and genuinely. Like all the scenes with Tamika where he's trying to talk Tamika into gaining confidence, and like when he's like every scene with Mike White rings true also. Like I just
Yes.
love their dynamic a lot, like a hell of a lot. And Mike White's hilarious, and Sarah Silverman is great as as the girlfriend.
Yes.
Get a
He's like, "You need to
job,
pay
babe.
rent." He's like, "Get a job." It's great. It's again, it's just one of those instances where again, it's the epitome of Jack Black's entire career, which is again,
Who are
the
you,
kind of
babe? This is my house, babe. Or what about in the beginning? It's so quotable, this movie to me. It's like, read between the lines, Theo. Read between the
Read between the
lines.
lines. It's great. It's so good. Yeah, just the fact that again, it is all movie all about just believing in yourself, always saying no to the man. Again, when he breaks down like the entire history of rock and the whole
The Stevie Nicks scene is a
oh,
classic.
that was great. And again, all leading up to again
Yes,
one of the
Stevie.
all-time ending battle of the bands. Again, musical concert
Oh, that's one of the
sequences.
greatest.
It's
Yeah,
awesome. It's so great. I love
and
this movie.
how his character learns to put the kids before
Yes.
himself is just very beautiful. And even though they're like, I like that the movie acknowledges that like they were fucked over by the end. Like I like
Yes.
that, but it just has such a great ending. Like Mike White gets to do music again by the end. I love it. It's great. It's
Yeah.
a perfect
It's great.
film.
Perfect movie.
It showcased Jack Black's stardom in the perfect way, and it's the reason why he's a star.
Yep. It is. What more can you say about it? All right, Dustin, for our combined list, this is a first time forever that I've ever seen this. This has never happened before in the entire in the entire 2 years. And this month, April 2025, marks 2 years that we've been doing this. We officially started this Actors Hall of Fame in
Four.
April of 2023 with Joaquin Phoenix. We only have 4 entries in common
Yeah,
on
4.
our list. That's insane. School of Rock, Tropic Thunder, High Fidelity, and Tenacious D are the other ones. So we
All right,
each
that's
have to
that
pick,
order.
yeah, for the top 4 easily.
That's that order. Yeah.
Has to be. Has to be. So let me take this out. So let me model that.
So we each get 3 picks?
Yep, we each get 3 picks. Let me just do some modifying high fidelity of that. All right. So our individual choices. So you have for your list, you have
Yeah.
Jumanji, you have Be Kind Rewind, you have Margot at the Wedding, Don't Worry He Won't Get Far on Foot, The Holiday, and The Cable Guy. I have King Kong, Super Mario Brothers, Shark Tale, Nacho Libre, and Kung Fu Panda. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna each pick one. So I will go first. I am picking Kung Fu Panda. That is automatically in there.
I'm picking Be Kind Rewind.
All right, got it. And you want to put those at 5 and 6, respectively?
Yeah,
All right. So Kung Fu Panda at 5, Be Kind Rewind at 6.
sure.
All right. Works for me. So Kung Fu Panda at 5, Be Kind Rewind at 6. All right. Next, for our next pick, I will do. Man, gotta go through them. So many. Okay. I'm going to go with Nacho Libre for my next pick.
Ooh,
Yep.
Jumanji. Welcome to
All right.
Riverdale.
All right. So Nacho Libre at 7, Jumanji at 8.
Yep.
All right. Nacho Libre at 7 and Jumanji at 8. Okay. I also can take that out of there. All right. And then for our last choices, I am going to go with Bernie for my last choice.
Don't worry, he won't get far on foot.
Got it. And then those at 9 and 10.
Yep.
All right. Bernie at 9. Don't worry, he won't get far on foot at 10. All right. So let's get rid of the rest there.
At least we had 4.
Yeah, no, I knew we would have a couple in common. I wasn't worried about that. I was just like, wow, I'm like, this is a first
No,
for
just
us.
because it was an even, like, it's an
Yeah.
even distribution.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that definitely makes it a lot easier. So, with that being said, let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. I believe that is it. All right. So here we go. Our combined top 10 Jack Black performances, Hall of Fame. This is one of the most eclectic and interesting ones that we've ever done, but I love it. Nonetheless. All right. Number 10, Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, directed by Gus Van Sant. Number 9, Bernie, directed by Richard Linklater. Number 8, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, directed by Jake Kasdan. Number 7, Nacho Libre, directed by Jared Hess. Number 6, Be Kind, Rewind, directed by Michel Gondry. Number 5, Kung Fu Panda, directed by the directors currently escaping me right now. I will look them up later. It's animated anyway, so it's really just the company, which is DreamWorks. Number 4, Tenacious D, In the Pick of Destiny, directed by, you're going to have to help me out.
Liam Lynch.
Thank you, Liam Lynch. Number 3, High Fidelity, directed by
Stephen Frears.
Thank you. Number 2, Tropic Thunder, directed by Ben Stiller. And
Buying
number 1,
Styler.
School of Rock, directed by
Richard Linklater.
I love how, as different and as eclectic as our list were, we say it was kind of like a little bit of a Leo situation where we had a lot of similar Leo choices, but just all over the place in different spots. But we still settled on Wolf of Wall Street being as number 1 because that's like undisputed. But yes. So with that being said, people, that is it. Our April Hall of Fame. We did Jack Black. Like I said, so we've hit 4 so far this year. Wahlberg for January, Eisenberg for February, De Niro for March, and Jack Black for April. Who will we pick in May? Who knows? But keep tuning in for new episodes every month.
It could be Paul Rudd. It could be Vince Vaughn. It could be somebody from Phoenician Scheme, maybe.
Who knows? There's a lot of things that are coming out this year. Like I said, a lot of movie stars to hit. A lot of your guys this year as well. Like I said, we got plenty more Hall of Fames. Like I said, we are delivering on it. We are finally going to do it. 2025, our first year. We're going to put out an Actors Hall of Fame every month this year so far. Like I said, we are not stopping until we hit the finish line. Dustin, thank you once again for joining me. Where can the good people follow you on the interwebs?
Follow me, Mr. G Movie Reviews on YouTube, Dustin Mason on Letterboxd.
All right. Of course, you guys can follow me with everything going on at Movie Nerd Reviews across all platforms, at Official Talkin TV Podcast across all platforms. Like I said, keep tuning in. Luke and I are doing our Mission Impossible rewatch series. We're also still recapping every episode of Lost on Sunday mornings. Be sure to tune in for that. We are recapping again tomorrow morning as well. And also keep tuning into my individual top 10s that I'm going to be putting out more steadily and consistently going forward. And as always, people, 12 seasons of a short film and watch more fucking movies. We will see you guys next time on the next Actors Hall of Fame.